everybody. So tonight is the new moon in Gemini. So today we're going to be doing a group reading. So I made this image to the side that everybody can practice at home. So if you want to pull some cards and figure out these energies for tonight, go ahead. So let's get started with that. And then I also have a group chat reading tonight with a bunch of friends that have a bunch of different aspects in Gemini. So if you like to watch that, that's going to be right after this. So I'm going to shuffle these cards, and I'm going to pick the first one, which is, what's a positive side of my nature? So as we know with Gemini, there is the yin and yang, the duality, masculine and feminine. And Gemini itself is considered an androgynous sign. So I feel like that one is our card. And then I'm going to pull, what is the negative aspect of my nature? So I'm going to pull this second card. All right. Feel like it's this one. And then the third one. How can I clarify my communication? So how can I clarify it is going to be our third card. And then our fourth card is, how does my duality express itself? So how does my duality, I think it's this one, express itself? All right, so let's do that. Okay, so this is our first card, and our first card was the Hermit in reverse. Sorry, trying to get used to these cameras. So that's our first card. Or actually, it's upright. Our next card is the Fool. So what is the negative aspect of my nature is the Fool. And then our third card is, how can I clarify my communication? So the Six of Wands, how can I clarify my communication? And then the last card is, how does my duality express itself? And it's the Magician. So we got a lot of major arcanas going on right now. Okay, so our first card is the Hermit, and this one is for the positive aspect of my nature. I think that everybody's been doing a really great job of kind of going within and kind of seeking the answers that they're kind of looking for and taking that time to kind of pause and reflect. But at the same time, we've got the Fool, which is kind of just branching out and doing things without thinking. So we've got a mixture of being really, going within ourselves, being really steadfast and kind of being precocious about the things that we're getting into, versus the nature of the Fool, which is just being naive and not wanting to listen to everything, not wanting to research everything, just wanting to just step out and just enjoy life. Even though there can be some negative things that can happen due to that. 3, how can I clarify my communication? So with the Eight of Wands, I feel like this is about quicker communication. So maybe not taking as much of a delay when you're choosing to talk to people might be a great action. Anytime we get the Eight of Wands, it's always about things changing, moving faster, things like that. And then our last card is, how does my duality express itself? So the Magician card is all about manifesting. And I think sometimes with this particular card, it can come off as like the used car salesman. It can be wanting to kind of tell people anything that they want to hear. So be kind of careful with maybe utilizing the tools that you have to maybe manipulate other people that you know, or maybe making certain things come to fruition that might be not something that you're wanting to create. But I do enjoy the Magician because it's all about creating things with the tools that we have. I would like to say another thing about this Gemini moon coming up, or it is tonight, is that it started on 2 degrees Gemini, while the sun's also at 2 degrees. So I also believe that Neptune is at 20 degrees, and there's another planet that's also at 20. So there's like a repetition of the number 2. And that's great because usually, well, Gemini is the twins, but also in the tarot, Gemini represents the lovers. So anyways, I got into this group chat with a bunch of friends, and I think that this is going to be a thing coming up in the future where I'm going to have a bunch of friends get together every new moon to kind of discuss different energies that they kind of deal with. So if you're, you know, for example, a Gemini moon or a Gemini Mars or a Venus or something like that, feel free to get into, you know, maybe the next chat to kind of discuss a lot of those energies. I kind of like a lot of things that come up in that to kind of help people maybe understand those type of things. The other thing I think about with Gemini as well is that Gemini gets a bad rap. And the truth is that Gemini is just inquisitive. So when we think of Gemini, and usually, you know, astrology kind of follows the different life cycles that people go through. So Gemini in particular is just about when people are about to go to school for the first time. And it's all about learning and questioning and wondering why things happen and researching things. Is the nature of Gemini. And so I think another thing to think about is when you're talking to little kids and they're just like, why? Or the first time that you're realizing that you're talking to people, you know, having those interactions with people for the first time and how exciting that is. All of those type of things kind of rule Gemini. So do siblings also rule Gemini, and hobbies rule Gemini. And places that you like to visit locally also rule Gemini as well, as much as gossip does too. But I think gossip is ruled more by communication than it is by a sign. But I don't know. If you have a different idea about that, feel free to hit me up in the comments. And of course, if you ever want a personal reading, I'm always free for that. Hit me up anytime. All right, so let's get into this group chat. So Paris is a Gemini moon with a Scorpio sun, and you're a Gemini sun. Do you have any other Gemini in your chart?
I'm Scorpio rising Leo moon, but I haven't like really looked at my birth chart, so I need to do that at some point. But I'm sure there's probably more Gemini in there.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini sun, Mercury, and Mars.
Whoa.
Yes. There's 2 cats.
Yeah, they just chill. They're like, that's how chill they are.
I like that.
That's like really chill. This one's gray cat, and this one's orange cat. And
Name's Greg.
so like that's their like just names, but like their formal names, like this is like the Great Grey Goop, and this is Rumpelstiltskin. That's about as much cat lore as I got. That's like all the cats. Like if there was another cat, it'd be like other gray cat.
Oh yeah,
Great.
I've got a lot of stuff that I've been collecting, and then I've been working on various crafting projects. Obviously, makeup is another thing that I do a lot of. Weird.
Oh my god.
It's just like this little, like this solid pewter carving of Garfield.
Like 3 pounds or something.
It's so heavy.
Just like a Garfield paperweight or like a, I don't know.
Gosh, yeah.
So you made that? That's like one of your hobbies?
No, I can't remember if I got him off of eBay or Etsy, but I think he was like $2. And I was like, I need to have some.
I'm just on the topic of general like hobbies or whatever, like you know, it can be hard to stay with something, like stay on a theme or stay in a material or stay in a medium. and like hone it and develop it. Like I want to get really good at makeup, but I also feel like I'm plateauing in that and exploring like other areas, and I don't need to be like focused on that because there's also dance, there's also stuff, you know, there's also like things I haven't even done yet, like sewing or Arabic, you know, and like
It's very Gemini.
but I would say like me, right, like just like where I'm at, like with that whole like a trait of mine is to just be like aware of the current events, like just kind of like it's almost like a social omniscience where like I don't even have to get into the nitty gritty of it. I'm just like, oh yeah, I know already. For me, I need to do more because like I got like a regular 40-hour work week, and then it's like, okay, what can I fit in around it? And that's just one thing. And so right now it's like my TV show that I'm like presenting on Facebook, like just Facebook. Like I'm not even using real like TV medium, but producing a show nevertheless, like a TV show.
Yeah.
So really for me, like TV show ties it all together because then it's like I can do the looks, I can do the social. Yeah, it's like a variety show, so it can be eclectic. Like
Have all
Bob
of your
Ross
stuff.
makeup time, like read a section of a feminist book, like essay. We're reading like about scopophilia and the male gaze by Laura Mulvey's.
Ooh.
75. Yeah, like that's the only essay I'm gonna read for like a while. Like, because the segment is like several minutes long of me just reading from the book. I feel like fucking Andy Kaufman reading it at Dickens or some shit. But and like if you were reading it, you know, you would see like 5 paragraphs and put it all into perspective, and it would be a lot. But when somebody's reading it out loud, then it's like, but you know.
Yeah.
It's like instead of drag queen like story time, it's transgender feminine. Like, you know, we're just it's for adults instead of children can listen to like a drag queen's, you know, do Mother Goose, but like whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for myself, it's like as someone who like identifies as non-binary, and like it's, I don't know, like I think it's really fun for me to do this kind of stuff because like I know that I myself as one side or like as one part of it or the other. And I'm an actor. I'm going to college to get my BFA in theater performance. So like I am experienced with working in character as you know, as an actor and stuff like that. But then doing it on my own and being able to choose whichever person I want to be, I think it's a blast, and I think it's a great way for me to express myself in ways that I normally can't.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like the need to like also kind of multitask with the characters? So you're like, okay, so a little bit of this, so we're gonna have this, we're gonna have this.
Oh my gosh, all the time. Yes. I'm like, it's a big struggle for me whenever I am in a performance because like I'm always relating the characters that I played to past characters that I've played and trying to connect them all together.
Yeah.
Like, I've got this narrative in my head of all the characters that I've played and how they all.
And like going back and forth with all of them.
Meanwhile, my director's like, you need to stop.
like I was just cosplaying, and I used that as like a guise to explore like my transgenderedness without actually confronting it, without like, or having to confront it with other people. Really, just to be able to like explore it on my own, to be transgender, and that character was definitely that, because I used it. I literally segued. That was the first time I really actually went out, you know, dressed like a woman, and yeah, that was the first time I actually like was publicly like a woman, I guess. Like
Mine has been more like I had hair, but I was just like destroying it, constantly dyeing it, and then I don't know, just buzzed it off. But that's a very Gemini thing. Like, I'm just gonna do that. No, that was me. Like, I was like burning my scalp all the time and stuff, so I was like, I'm my head.
Yikes.
I want to get into that shit. I just brush it out and go. And then like preceding the movie with like a phase for phase, like each like for phase. And it didn't start out that way. It was like mostly like 60s, like, you know, what's his name? That guy was like the shit. But like the 60s, like, you know, campy thing. But like, yeah, I fucking nailed it. Took it on for months. Like really owned it. Like became evil. Like explored all that shit. Like went through, you know, I mean, it was really like just became a terrorist, like a general like terrorist, and like really method acted that shit. And
yeah, the first time I ever met Sloane was like at a party, and I think it had been 29 days until like costume, something like that, in the middle of a Texas summer. And you were hanging like from the fan, and like people were ripping the suit off of you. You were.
Yeah, but that was past, like, that wasn't really Joker times. Like, that's just silly times. Like, I mean, that's just more silly times. Like, it's all within silly times. But like, there was just like a few months where it got to the point where like family members were concerned and everything. But it's just like, I don't know. That wasn't the problem.
That wasn't it.
The problem with that, and I know it's like I don't know, like I don't think I could. Yeah.
I like
That was like a cliche
I like
and
that
shit.
it's still-
Is like with the trend of people like shaving their eyebrows, their parts of their eyebrows.
Mhm.
I did that once. I shaved that little slit in my eyebrow, and then I got tired of that, so I ended up just taking the tails off of them. I think that was like the only time that I like fell into a trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Sick.
The one time, yeah.
That is the one time.
Just the one time.
That's it.
And I've been making that, don't make fun of me, but it's that like, I don't know, it was on TikTok or something. It was like a iced coffee thing that you can like make your own kind of like frappe basically at home. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is it the whipped coffee?
Bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's good with coffee when you
So
start
fucking
explaining.
good.
I wonder what happened if you. I wonder what happened if you froze it.
Gemini talk. Real.
Or, yeah, because it would be like a frappe, right? Like,
I need to get me some like decaf instant coffee because I've always wanted to try it, but I can't have like caffeine. I'm like severely intolerant to it. So like, oh, I see the trend and I want to try it. I might
yeah,
go to the store.
the instant coffee especially is like super strong. So
For myself, it's less about what day like I'm feeling.
Yeah.
It's more about like whoever. If I'm talking to different people about the same subject, my response will probably change given the person. Because like, yeah, if like, because it's unless it's like a really important topic like social justice, you know, stuff like that, then I'm obviously going to have an opinion about it. But if it's just like, oh, I hate this show so much, and I'll be like, oh, I understand, yeah, and then I'll offer things about it that I don't really like. But then if I talk to another person, it's like, oh my gosh, I love the show so much, I'd be like, yes, and this is why I also like it.
They're like, like inside, like screaming or something. Like, why am I like?
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to adapt to whoever I'm talking to, I guess.
Okay,
that's
so
very Gemini. I do the same thing.
Yeah,
Like it's really all I'm very good at like adapting, like you said, adapting to like who I'm talking to.
there's actually it's a term for it. It's called being a social chameleon.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
like that's a thing, and it's so cool. I only recently found that out.
I have excitement about just reading it. I'll be like, oh my god, did you read this thing? Like,
I'll get that secondhand frustration, especially if there's like someone arguing that you agree with, and you're like, why won't they listen?
I feel like memes have to be very Gemini in nature because it's like fast moving. It's like we've already moved on. Like
Yes.
SpongeBob meme was literally last week, so like get with it. Like what the fuck?
Yes. Every time someone quotes like memes that are more than like a week old, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Keep up.
Why are you talking about mom?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
what is it?
Right.
And in a way,
All memes
it
are
kind of
already-
like ruins your
they're
sense of humor too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like you're ancient. You're an internet dinosaur. Did you get stuck and frozen in time? Like it's like fucking Star Wars, and you're like in the
Yeah, and it makes me kind of feel bad sometimes because my friends will show me a meme and I'll be like, you know, that was back in like 2016, right? And they're like, well, okay. I'm like,
Yeah,
"It's
I
not
have
funny to
feel
me."
like a lot of
Well,
haha.
yeah, but it can go the other way because like there's like those dorks that like every meme you show them like, okay, that was cool like in 2012, and it's like okay, you know, like you can't show any like some people point that out
Yeah.
every single time, and it's just like
I
okay, we're just laughing at this like video, but like okay, yeah, you're right, that is cool. I am pulling shit up from 2009 or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would.
well, I guess I'm like obsessed with IMVU. You can like create worlds and stuff. And I'm really into like tech, I guess, like, and where technology's going. We're like at a lurching point right now where we're not even like, I don't know, with like AI and everything. So I don't know. That stuff just really interests me.
What is IMView? What can you talk to someone about IMView or? What
So
is that?
IMView is it's like an avatar. I wouldn't call it a game. It's also like a social. It's kind of like The Sims, but not.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's like Second
It's
Life.
like a social network.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I love the character design of it. It looks like kind of like the dress up dolls from like the early 2000s that look extra slutty, like
Yeah.
angel wings on them.
Yeah.
And, like it's like all tube tops and like sexy clothes and stuff.
But we like I've used it twice to like shoot music videos in it. There's just like a lot you can do with it. And they're kind of having a really big IMView is really becoming big right now because a lot of people are doing like online raves, and you can like create your character and go to the rave, and they like stream it through Twitch. It's just interesting. There's people that like have entire relationships through avatars, and they cheat on each other, and like it's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody like that, but I've just heard about it, and I've heard about people meeting on it and like getting married.
Like we had this VR thing where we were like at this like financial company I work at, where they had us put on VR to get empathy training for like what the like financial advisor assistant's going through when they call our call center, and like the theory behind it. And I actually heard this on an NPR radio like thing before, the day before we literally did it, and like it was like the role playing puts you in that fight or flight mode where you know it's not real factually, but emotionally like it goes past certain operative like thought processes, so you're experiencing it in a way, and like those kind of things give you the opportunity. So like if you go into those worlds, right, and you cheat on your partner, right, and it's like you get to live that life where you're just this like whatever person, you know, where you do go through those experiences and maybe not even like looking at it as like good or bad, just like going through that drama. Like we already experienced drama that way, like the medium of drama that way.
Yeah.
You live these lives with these people that we can't live ourselves. And, like,
This stuff is trippy. It's like makes me think of that movie. What is it called? Ready Player One, where it's like I was like, this is the future. I made tacos tonight. I'm constantly like,
White people taco night.
no, it's not like that. No, yeah, that's it. No. White people. Oh my god, I saw that video. We're like,
I love that so much.
they had, like,
no, we have a Mexican bodega down the street, and they like have everything. It's super legit. That's where I get our stuff.
They had a boat. Like I don't know. I bring that up like I bring that up with like places in Texas that are like that. Like there's still like white people tacos, and like you live in Texas, and it's like why why do you like fuzzies or what? Like why do you? It's like if you're like white grandmother from Colorado made like tacos, like this is what it would be. It's like Baja stuff. Like okay, but yeah,
That made me sound really white saying tacos.
Yeah.
but like people in Texas still do that. They still eat their white tacos.
Divided.
It's like its own thing. It's its own thing. What's
Not
happening?
angry, you're just like
You
this
got the lettuce, you got the
salad.
tomato, you got the yellow shredded cheese, you got the like I don't know.
Ortega sauce from the grocery store.
Ortega sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the meat. Why am I reiterating what's already been perfected?
Hey, okay, so we're back. Thank you guys so much for watching that, and it's my first time using Restream, so this video is going to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, so hopefully it worked. I don't know, I was a little nervous about it. If you want to see me dress up as anything, or you have any ideas for like a pick a card reading that you want to see, let me know in the comments, and I'll totally probably do it. I'll probably dress up and do it for fun. But yeah, I'm excited for this new Gemini energy. I think it's supposed to be a little bit more lively and a little bit more fun. But yeah, so be sure to check me out on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook as well. I'm also on Twitch, all as Goddess Goddard. So if you want to see more readings from the past, or you want to check out some other stuff, feel free to go look over there. All right, thank you so much, and thanks for tuning in. Bye!